Welcome back to another Scotty and Motty. Obviously I'm Scotty, that's Motty, and the man behind the camera doing all the magic is the genius, the boy wonder, the protege, someone I really, really care for. Yes, it's James Young. So hopefully we'll have no messing around from him tonight. Thank you everybody who's watching so far. If you are watching and you've not subscribed, can I ask you to please do so? We did over 15,000 views last week's video, which is pretty damn decent. But the correlation between new viewers and subscribers, it went up, but not as much as we'd like. So if you can, please support the show by subscribing. Be very much appreciated. Today we're going to be talking about, as the thumbnail suggests, Manchester United fire sale. Now I think a sale can only go through if you've got anybody interested in your products. So who's buying Harry Maguire? I have no idea. Who's buying Anthony Martial? Nope.
Yeah, maybe. I think, do you know what, right? This is the thing, because you can see there from the thumbnail, we've got Anthony Martial, we've got Harry Maguire, we've got Scott McTominay, Jadon Sancho. There's others as well. I think Alex Telles and Dean Henderson, of course, and Donny van der Beek, the forgotten man of football. So there are others, but I still think you can get something for some of these players, because especially if you're a bit of a salesman, you go, hey, not long ago they finished second in the league. Hey, not long ago they got to the Europa League final. Hey, how many players can say that? Hey, look at how many caps they've got for the country. There's little, techniques you can use.
Like, yeah, but there's evidence of what they've done on the pitch.
You have to ruin everything, don't you, with actual facts?
You can't go around knocking it like kicking the tyres. Like
maybe you just get
a used car.
Yeah, maybe you get
loads of mileage under. She's got loads of room going ahead. Get loads out of her. It's like they can press on YouTube and watch Maguire's best clips. It lasts 12 seconds.
But I still think that these players can go to a lot of clubs in the Premier League.
In the Premier League?
I do, right? Because
top half.
Yeah. Like Jadon Sancho, young, productive, and we don't know for starters that Jadon Sancho is definitely, going to be out of the door. There was a report, I think, Chris Wheeler and Daily Mail had it, saying that he was on the list of players that Erik ten Hag was willing to move on, especially when you think of the fact you can probably get a bit of dough for Jadon Sancho. Only a couple of seasons ago, he was one of the most productive players in Europe when he was at Dortmund. Also, his numbers for United, I know this doesn't sound like a ringing endorsement, aren't terrible. Like, I know that's like the most, talk about damning with faint praise.
It's not shit.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not having a dig at Jadon Sancho, because we know listen, he's still a Manchester United player. I was always back Manchester United players, and we know he obviously went through some stuff where he had to have a little bit of a break in that. But if you just look here, his Premier League statistics for like the season just gone, 26 appearances, 6 goals, 3 assists. So he's not setting the world alight,
no.
but a return of basically 1 in 3 is all right. It's not that grim when you consider the fact that obviously he has had seasons in the Bundesliga where he smashed it. I think someone will come in for Jadon Sancho. United would have to take a loss on him. We're not going to get the 72 million
We're
quid.
going to take a loss on everyone.
100%, bro. We're not going to get 72 million quid for him, but I think there's a lot of clubs, I think decent clubs, someone like maybe a Spurs or a Villa or someone like that would go, Jadon Sancho.
I see Spurs.
Yeah,
maybe going
I think he goes into that team.
If we look at this supposed list that ten Hag's put together, Sancho's probably top in terms of player we get most money for and probably the pedigree.
Yeah,
would you say?
I think his star shines the most bright.
There's a lot more
players.
potential.
Yeah,
and if we're keeping with the car analogy, there's a lot more mileage in a player like Jadon Sancho, as opposed to the other end, your Anthony Martials, who is still only 27.
I think the one good thing about Martial, if you're trying to sell him, that he's got in his favour, is he has the capabilities to score goals in the Premier League. And I know that sounds stupid, but a lot of players don't. A lot of players can't get 20-odd goals in a season. It's just they've not got it in their locker. We know he has, because he's done it.
Yeah.
The issue is he did it a few seasons ago, and also his injury record is getting worse. But I think in terms of ability, people look at Anthony Martial, and I think there's a club that would think, you know what, all right, his injury record is great, but and it's a big if we can keep him fit, there's a player there.
Yeah.
And also, Martial, even, again, I know like I'm sounding a bit of a broken record, but even this season just gone, his injury record was shocking. But if, as you said, you're going to be a bit of a salesman about it, and the way to go about Anthony Martial is going, his goals to minutes ratio last season was good. Like, again, 21 appearances, not great. 6 goals, 2 assists. But he didn't play a lot of 90 minutes. He
so
did.
he's doing something 1 in every 3. Is that
yeah, and also a lot of those games, it was 20 minutes here, 15 minutes here, 30 minutes here. He can score you goals. It's just keeping him fit is the issue. There's no point pretending
it's going to be a punt on Martial.
Yeah, and I think if Martial was fit, fully fit, if he'd have just done a season where he played 50 games last season, and let's say he'd scored 18 goals, for example, I think you could get 50 million for him.
Yeah.
Because he's a striker and they're in short commodity and he's still relatively young. But that hasn't happened. He's also coming off the back of 2 underperforming seasons. So it's a bit more of a hard sell. But I think because he's a striker who's capable, you can get, I think, what we've got on the thumbnail, 30 million for him. Maybe
30 million.
It's tad ambitious.
Yeah.
I think 20 million is probably more accurate. Because also as well, what does 20 million get you nowadays? Nothing.
This feels like Holmes under the hammer.
I like that, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What do you reckon we got? Upstairs?
Yeah.
Stairs leading.
Stairs leading to the bedrooms, is it? So I think get involved in the chat in the comments. Let's just see what people are thinking. Let us know. We're going to go through some more players that we've been linked with. Heaven Soul says Simon Stone now linking us back with Kolo Muani and Rasmus Højlund. Never-ending circus of linking, but never actually buying, it seems. Miles says, let's see if we can get 81% out of James today. Laughing emoji. James, we've not heard from you yet. Are you ready to give us 81%?
Yeah.
Emphatic.
I'm actually doing my job for once. That's why I'm being
Sorry.
quiet.
For what?
I'm actually, right, for starters, there's just certain things that I want to dig out there. I'm doing my job for once, right? For once. You're doing your job all the time.
It's his last show before
Right.
he goes on holiday, goes home to Cardiff.
Home to Cardiff, eh? That infamous second album by Chris Rea. And also, a man of your capabilities and intelligence can join in with the conversation and produce. I have absolutely 100% faith in you.
Just wait until later when you see the videos I've got lined up for people that want to stick around. We've got a good unsung hero this week.
Yeah, so if you want to, see if James can fulfill on his ambition of playing another video during a video, the pressure is on. What else people saying?
Connor Sedgwick says, Che Adams incoming, banging back up. Stranger things have happened.
Has Vegas gone now? And Sabitzer, what's the crack there then?
I don't know. I mean, it sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? Seeing as my job in sales talking about Manchester United Football Club, I can't even tell you whether Wout Weghorst is still a United player. I think he's still got us on his bio, if that means anything. Yeah. But I thought that it was a season-long loan, so surely the season's over. Yeah. Same with Marcel Sabitzer, especially with Sabitzer as he got injured. But I don't know. Get involved in the comments on the chat.
See any of them back? I don't.
No. I think Sabitzer would have had a chance if he'd not got injured. Nick Albany in the super chat says, dealing with Burley, Livitt and Veronique Rabiot last week. I bet you Arnold and Murtagh didn't have the greatest of times. Great show, lads.
Cheers, Nick.
Thanks for that, Nick. Thank you. Gary O'Rourke says, Scotty, what's your hair routine? Jay, a little bit of kidology there. Just an example. Some of the laughs we have around here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pravav Kandawale says, forgive me if I've just butchered your name, bro. We can't let these go for peanuts. 850k for Zidane Iqbal was atrocious. Yeah, that was. It seemed a little bit strange, that one, didn't it? Zidane going for so cheap, but we spoke about it last week. There may have been other reasons behind it, and I think the money to be made back from United is when he gets sold from Utrecht, which if he works out,
it's supposedly quite excessive, isn't it?
Yeah, you'll expect him to get a move to a bigger club there. So we've spoken about Martial. 20 million, yeah, we said?
I'd say about 20 million.
20 million.
I'd go to the continent. If I'm Anthony Martial, I would look at going back to France or maybe Italy. I know it didn't work out in Spain.
Sevilla was a disaster for him, wasn't it? Yeah. I think if he goes to Italy, we've seen many players leave Manchester United in particular, looking like things aren't going too well for him. You're talking like Alexis Sanchez and Ashley Young and Romelu Lukaku, and smash it in Italy.
Yeah, and there's rumours that Van der Beek may be on his way to Roma. I've seen lots of links with him.
How much would you ask for if you were selling Van der Beek?
I don't know. How much you pay for him? 45 mil?
35 rising to 40, so I presume it's not moved from the 35. I don't think he's ticked any boxes.
20 mil.
Do you know what the mad thing about that was? Right, when we bought Donny van der Beek, it came from nowhere. There was no rumours, there was no reports, there was no sort of insinuations we were going to get him. It was just like all of a sudden we had him.
Yeah.
It was like, what? We've signed him. It wasn't even like a a rumour or anything. It was really weird because we were linked with all these players, and then it was like deal done. Edwin van der Sar got on the phone to Ollie or whatever happened, and the deal was over the line within a day. 35 million at the time looks like a bit of a bargain. This is a young player. He'd been to the Champions League semi-final. He'd won the Eredivisie a few times, and he'd been a Ballon d'Or nominee. Which you think, okay, 35 million for this youngster, 21, whatever he was, 22, makes a load of sense. And it's just turned out, even that isn't a bargain. It's like United are incapable of getting bargains because I think he's played 34 Premier League games. So it's
really,
like,
that's bad,
you're not even getting it like...
Is that included in the Everton time as well?
Oh, sorry, that's a good point.
But he didn't play a lot for Everton, did he?
No, he went out there for 16 games and missed 8 of them through injury. So for Manchester United, let me just pull this up now.
Well, that's it. We've got 2 injury-prone players who are trying to shift in Martial and Van der Beek.
Yeah, 34.
Neither that have had full seasons in the last 2 years.
Yeah, 34 Premier League games for Manchester United. So obviously, you do the maths there. It's more than £1 million per Premier League game, so it's not a bargain. So yeah, but I think he's still relatively young. He is capable. I think all these players have quite high ceilings. It's just they don't reach them often enough. So
what do you judge this on though? That they have high ceilings.
I think because
Van der Beek. Based on what? Because he played in a very good Ajax team that got to the Champions League semi-final.
But I think he played well in that team.
Right,
I think he did. He had games for Ajax. I didn't watch a lot of Van der Beek. I'm not pretending I did. But I've seen him play very, very well in games.
Yeah.
And obviously, there was a reason why he was... I know it doesn't mean everything, but I think it says so you don't get nominated for a Ballon d'Or if you're terrible. You've got to have something in your locker.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I know he was only on the shortlist for there's a 20-man shortlist, but even so, that's still an achievement.
But the manager that got to the Champions League semi-final with Van der Beek in the team doesn't fancy him either.
No, I mean, I know, no,
So
that's my point.
Yeah, that's
like,
so you've got to wonder.
Anthony Martial, we've seen Anthony Martial banging hat-tricks in Manchester United. We've seen him score against Liverpool, seen him score against City, seen him score against Chelsea. He's turned it on against top-level opposition, but he doesn't do it consistently enough. So I would say all those players we have on that thumbnail and Donny van der Beek have had games where they have reached a level where you go, or even seasons where you go, yeah, something. Like Harry Maguire, who's probably the most criticised of all United players. There was a reason why he was 80 million quid. We overpaid for him, yeah. But he had a very good spell at Leicester and was doing very well. I know it's not the be all and end all, but was doing very well in England shirt. And also when he came to United, did quite well. Within his third and second in his first 2 seasons, it wasn't like he had a disastrous spell. He then fell off a cliff, basically, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I do think with all these players, there is something there. And I think it's quite telling for me that a manager like Erik ten Hag, who has looked at Marcus Rashford and gone, I can get a lot out of you, and kept him on, played him every game, and got 30 goals out of him. Looks at Aaron Wan-Bissaka and gone, nah, I'm not going to sell you. I'm going to work with you. I can get some out of you. Has looked at Luke Shaw, and Luke Shaw did an interview recently where he said the manager's worked very hands-on with him, demanding stuff from him, and gone, look.
Yeah, if the capability is there, Ten Hag will invest his time if he believes that you can.
He's a coach, innit?
Yeah, he's a
one of your
hands-on
criticisms, Ollie, and you were right. And
Ollie was better hands-off in terms of
he wasn't a coach where you go, I know he had certain players that did well under him, but I think he was a bit more like creating a good atmosphere for them rather than here's what we're going to do. With Erik ten Hag, he seems to be a coach who wants to coach players, who can get the best out of players, and we've seen it with a lot of players. But I think with these lot, he's kind of going, it's not happening. Whether it's injuries, whether it's surplus to requirements in terms of I've got more players in your position that I can use, or whether it's just you ain't got it in you anymore. Whatever the reason is, only he knows the answer to that.
He's had a season to see, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I think to be fair to Erik ten Hag, he pretty much gives everyone a chance.
Did we sell anyone last summer? I know the Pogba thing that happened, but that was obviously.
Well, they were all. I think they were all.
Only Ronaldo who left, really.
They were all out of contracts, and Dean Henderson went on loan, I think. And Tellez went on loan and Bailly went on loan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might be missing someone.
That's what I mean. So the squad that he inherited, minus sort of Ronaldo and them 2 loans, he gave everyone a fair goal this season.
Bro,
we watched,
yeah, because I remember watching pre-season. We were over there, and there was players where you thought they're done. I thought Martial was done. And he played him in pre-season. He played well. Sancho was another one. You think he's done, but you're like, does he fancy him? Is this going to be a debate whether he's even starting? Played him and he did well. He sort of straight away set his stall out. Answered the De Gea Henderson question straight away. De Gea's my guy. Even Maguire he gave a chance, and he kept him as club captain. Although obviously brought in Lisandro Martinez for a reason.
And there's rumours we're linked with another central defender, isn't
Well,
there?
Kim Min-jae,
Yeah.
I don't see
I
this.
can't see that happening now. though.
Next week, his buyout clause kicks in, doesn't it?
And then Bayern Munich apparently sniffing for Mason Mount as well. Whereas United won't haggle the extra sort of 7 million.
Where do you stand on that? Let's talk about that quickly, and I will get into some of the comments because loads of people.
That United won't go up to. They want 57 plus 8 million add-ons.
Something like that.
United have gone in at 55.
I think United have said their cap is 55.
Okay. Well, it's only 8 million, isn't it? Extra.
I think. I'll be honest with you.
If we're going after Mason Mount's his first choice, obviously.
Yeah.
Right. So whoever else we're going to get might not cost 50 million, but it's your second choice one.
I think.
I don't think it's a desperate position we're in.
No,
that's midfield. I don't think we need someone there as much as we need a new striker, as we need a new goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think the Mason Mount deal looked attractive when it was 40 mil because you're going, wow, okay. I mean, me personally, you might be different opinion, but I thought I wasn't, a mad fan of Mason Mount, but 40 million quid for a Champions League winner who's 24 years old and has proven it in the Premier League. Yeah, I can buy into that. And he gives us an option where I want to see players starting for Manchester United where I'm not going, why is he starting?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's a few of them in there where you go,
I think there's probably more players with question marks over the head at United than there is not.
Right.
Guaranteed starting 11. There's only a few that you say, all right, well, I agree with that.
That's set in stone.
Yeah.
Like even Sancho and Garnacho, there's a debate now, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like, Rashford over the left if we could bring in a
We've got
striker.
a question mark over what's going to be the situation with Antony, given all the sort of rumours that are going on. Eriksen's got a question mark over him, 30 years old. And it was a bit knackered towards the end of the season. Casemiro's going to be 31 this year as well, so you've got a question mark over him. So I know what you mean. Like, if you look at other players, like if clubs, City for example, so that they're the one we're sort of trying to, I hate to fucking say emulate, but they don't have that.
I know.
They drop to a bench to get somebody else who's in there, and that's what United need to be doing.
Because you're right, because City, and I hate the fact I'm talking about City so much, but they are successful, unfortunately, though. There's 115 charges hanging over their heads, so we'll see how long that lasts.
Scotty's mic is pretty quiet, James.
Right, okay. Maybe it's me being very loud.
Speak a bit closer to it if you can.
Yeah, that's it. Hold it there. Stay there. Put it there. You go. Is
Can you hear me now, people?
Yeah. Unless it's maybe just me having a very loud voice.
I think James is sabotaging.
Oh, Jonathan Escott's in the chat. Says, hi, Motty and Scotty. I just wanted to compliment you on your fashion sense. For a combined age of nearly 100, you both dress very well. Up the Dubai Reds. Right. Thanks for that.
How old does he think you are? For us to have a combined age of 100?
I think he's being funny,
Is
right? It? Because he's a funny person who lives out in Dubai. But I'm going to dig out a picture of him in his E17 coat, and then we'll try and get that on the screen if we can. And we'll see who's got the fashion sense, my brother.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I can't find it. Anyway.
I'll find it.
You find it,
That's banging, that Scotty, so I think we're all right now. J5 is happy. Good on you, J5.
Why make me panic by saying that?
Well,
J5.
People are allowed to give feedback if they're not happy with anything.
They're the
channel.
audience. That's it. It's not. We don't care if you're entertained or listening to it properly, James. You don't count. It's the people watching, spending their time investing in me and Jay. And if you are doing that, can you make sure that you're subscribing or liking the video? What are we on?
We're on 59 likes, 248 people watching. Glenn F says he didn't get a notification from YouTube. YouTube sort it out. Glenn F's a regular watcher of us and of Paddock, and he didn't get a notification for either. So I don't know what's going on there. We need to sort that one out. Johnny Escott's just messaged me as well saying it's pissing here.
It's raining down in Dubai.
Oh, mate.
Gutted.
Poor Johnny. Pray for Escott. Will be trending by the end of this. Here we go. Yep. Liam Clark says we sold Pereira and Chong last summer. We sold Pereira to Fulham, didn't we?
He did pretty well as well.
Shows you, don't it?
See, that could be a case study for the sales. I genuinely think that John Murtaugh should hire you to go down in your suit.
What, to speak to clubs?
To sell the players.
Clubs.
You've convinced me that Martial might be worth 20 million, and I'm the biggest cynic of all.
23 goals in a season not that long ago.
Yeah.
Golden Ball winner. Golden Boy winner.
Arm round Martial's shoulder. You get something out of this, lad.
Come on,
look.
Hey, look at that face. You're telling me you can't bang in goals for you?
Don't you worry about the crutch. It'll be finished by November.
How many players do you know that got a hat-trick against Sheffield United? That's my question. Oh, sorry. He says, I meant pissing, laughing, not raining.
Oh.
I was about to say. Yeah, so we sold Andreas and Chong as well. He was always on the way out on it, to be fair. So, yeah, there was some sales, but most of them left on the end of the contract, didn't there?
Yeah.
Cavani, Matic, Jesse Lingard.
Not gutted that any of them left.
Pogba. How did you feel about Paul Labille, Pogba leaving?
Very happy.
Well, yeah, I
biggest
think
waste of money I think I've ever spent, all things considered. And people will say Di Maria, but I think for the time that Pogba was at United and the amount of money that it cost week in, week out for his wages and the amount of times that he played for the club, I think his best highlight for United was the goals against Man City that stopped them winning the league against us.
It's depressing, isn't it, when you think of things like that.
Yeah.
We postponed their party for a week.
Yes, that was the silver lining.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it would have been minging seeing them celebrating it at the Etihad in front of us, but still, it wasn't much, it was a bit of a Pyrrhic victory, as they say. Mank Mike 93 says, gotta love all the work you do on these channels. Thank you, Mank
Cheers,
Mike.
Man.
Big thank you to everyone who's shown us love and support on this channel as well. Loads of people subscribing recently. We do appreciate it. We love what we're doing. And if you are watching us, do hit that subscribe button. Well, obviously, if you are watching us, otherwise, what's the point? I don't know why I said that. Forgive me. Donnelly says, all right, boys, I'm already fed up of this transfer window. I know, it's easy and it's only June and I'm already fed up. I'm with you.
But it's only our club that seems to mess around as much.
It's weird, isn't it? We find ways of messing about where you don't even see him coming.
Yeah.
Like Mason Mount, I didn't think that was a thing. And somehow we found a way for it to become a thing.
I thought Harry Kane would be the saga of the summer.
Yeah, we found a saga where there weren't one with a player we're not even that fussed about.
We don't even need. How can we make it? Yeah, it's true though, isn't it?
Like, no one I spoke to, right, 6 months ago was talking about Mason Mount coming to United or the player that we needed or wanted, right? And now we're embroiled in some sort of back and forth with Chelsea over him. Like, war of attrition.
Are you worried that we're not actually going for a striker, though? I know there's rumours of Onana coming to United, but in terms of a striker, you're not worried about making any moves there?
Very worried.
Because that'll be the linchpin on whether United are successful next season. And as much as I've got faith in Rashford getting close to the same goals he had this season, we can't go into another year where we're relying heavily on him because the rest of the people around him don't seem to be able to get to double figures.
I think if we don't get a striker, and this is a different debate maybe for another time, but we can talk about it briefly now, I think that might point to a certain young lad from Yorkshire coming back into the team.
You think so?
If we don't get a striker.
He's just started training again, hasn't he?
No, I think that was a bit misleading. That I think that it was the Sun hashtag Don't Buy the Sun, using pictures of him training on his own with a personal trainer, which he's been doing for as long as he's been suspended. He's not allowed to train on his own. Yeah. He's just not allowed to train with a club, I don't think. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by a striker that there's because it was a bit odd to me the way that it all went down, and the manager sort of saying, "Well, it's not up to me, it's up to the club," which I thought. Well, surely it is up to you.
You can decide whether you want to play
you say you play for Manchester United Football Club. That's literally your job. And I felt like that might have been him covering his own battle. The club just saying to him, look, don't say it's your decision, it's our decision. I might be wrong, but I think if we don't buy a striker, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Mason Greenwood back in a United shirt.
It'd be interesting to see if and when United get a new owner, what their sort of take on it is, because it could be like Greenwood could be seen to either get fans on side if say Qatar would take over and got rid of him, but the flip side is you're going to get a hell of a lot. And I'd say the majority of the match going fans don't want to see Greenwood back in United.
I think so. I mean, I'm always like, I know you're not doing it, but I'm always aware of speaking on behalf of fans. But from what the conversations I've had, the majority of people seem to be against the return of Mason Greenwood, and you can understand why. Someone who just said this. Oh, that was it. Marcello83 said, Jay, those United players never had the makings of a varsity athlete. Excellent Sopranos reference there. If you've not done it, after this video, after this live, go and check out our top 5 Sopranos moments. Miss Man United in the chat says, that famous Blazing Squad coat, talking about Johnny Escott as well.
I think we might have it.
Right, can we get it on there it is. Can we see the full, can you move it up there? Look at that.
Wow.
Johnny Escott. If you're still watching us, there he is. I think this was the day the Liverpool game got postponed, and I believe it was that coat that caused the game to be postponed.
Is that because he wasn't wearing anything underneath it?
Yeah, there's
like a flasher in it.
You see those security and that there, they're literally just there for him. That's why they were there, and that's what got the game.
How tight are the jeans on the guy next to him? He must have
circulation
problems in his feet.
How's the guy next to Johnny Escott wearing that, getting digged out? Hey,
Because I've laughed at
he's
Johnny
stood next
Escott's
to a
goal.
man who's naked except for an
Yeah, but
E17
look how
coat.
tight them jeans are.
They're trackies, aren't they? Are they trackies or jeans?
Want me to zoom in?
They look like jeans.
Hang on.
What are you doing,
But
James?
that's not how you zoom.
No. But
Nobody's talking about his trainers. Here we go.
No. I need to get on the thing to pick it up and then zoom it back in.
90%.
There we go.
They're jeans.
There.
Now, what's that
jeans?
writing? The trackies then, man. I think they're trackies.
Right, anyway.
Bit too tight.
They're trackies. Anyway, that was Johnny Escott in all his glory.
Sparrow legs.
Yeah. Who else have we not spoke about who's up for sale? Oh, I'll tell you one thing I want to say to you.
Oh.
Right?
It's pointing at me.
Yeah. You know what this is about. You've got one choice next summer or this summer.
One
choice.
Yeah.
Either or. There's no ands. Either a new striker
Yes.
or a new goalkeeper. What are you going for?
New striker, easily.
Easily.
Yeah.
So you
I think a full strength defence. Obviously, I think Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Martinez, and Varane. I think that does enough to protect David De Gea. Then I expect the people around Marcus Rashford to score more goals up top.
I don't like it when you use logic. That makes sense. Prefer bluster and
Right, yeah.
aggression. Blind faith, just argumentativeness. I almost agree with what you said. I get it. And I think that David De Gea is capable of obviously keeping lots of clean sheets.
What are we worse at? Keeping clean sheets or scoring goals?
It's not the clean sheets one is misleading though, right? It is. Because I heard this point being made all the time. Steve makes it on the channel quite a lot, and I get it. It's a fact. He won the Golden Glove. He got more clean sheets than any other player in the Premier League. But it doesn't mean a lot if you then go to Anfield and conceding 7. It's only one game you've conceded.
Right, but they're not all. They weren't all his fault.
No. But my point is, it's misleading the whole clean sheets.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
also, when you went to the City ground, for example, and you didn't touch the ball, and you
got
get a
man
clean
of the
sheet,
match.
I got Crooks put him in his team in a week. He didn't make a save. Like, and I'm not digging out De Gea because it's not like there's nothing wrong with getting clean sheets. It's what he's there to do. You know, well done. But I just feel no, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
You'd got rather a goaler than a striker.
Yeah, I think we can't carry on trying to play the way we're trying to play with a goalkeeper who hasn't got it in him, and he ain't going to learn it at 31 after 600 games for United, or whatever it's been, 500 games. He's just not, and I feel like.
What's he got? He's got a year left on his contract.
No, he's got 2 days left on it. I
2
think.
days. So he can walk off now. Then, or is it?
Yeah, he's got a decision to make. Apparently, the club have offered him reduced terms. Well, this is the thing, which is why United are so dumb. Like, it's not his wages for me that are issue. Like, if he's
his ability.
Yeah, like we've offered him apparently, and again, this is open to different. You know, depending on who you read, whether this is true or not. We've offered him 200k a week, which is a pay cut of 175k a week. Because he was on 375k a week.
That is
highest paid goalkeeper in history, I think.
That's a substantial cut, though.
Yeah, it is a substantial cut. But if we're going to pay him 200k a week, then he's still going to be playing some games for Manchester United, right? Now, there's an argument that he won't always be first choice, or that he'll, rotate or whatever. But even then, I think if he's not up to it, he's not up to it, or he is up to it. He's not just not up to it in the Champions League, or he is up to it in the Champions League and the FA Cup.
Yeah.
People were saying about the FA Cup final, I agree. For the second goal, particularly, you can see the faults. And it wasn't even that. It was the amount of times he gave the ball away that invited pressure off Manchester City, who, I don't even know, is quite good when they've got the ball. And it was just time after time after time after time. And you think, you can't carry on like this. You need to change that. So I just feel that, listen, David De Gea, now is the perfect time for him to walk away, having broke the clean sheet record, having played however many games it is, hundreds and hundreds of games, having won the Premier League, the Europa League, the FA Cup, the League Cup twice, I think.
Yeah, and he was like Player of the Year.
Player of the Year,
like
four
times
been in the PFA Team of the Year 5 times in his United career. He walks away with his head held high, and he's done very well. I just feel another season of...
If you're David De Gea and your employer is saying, right, well, we're going to offer you a new contract at half the wages, what does that suggest? About the faith of your
well, it just says that we don't rate it.
You're not going to be number one.
Yeah.
And the thing is with goalkeepers as well, I don't think it's a position, unlike the rest of the outfield players, that you can really rotate as much.
No.
I don't mind doing it for cup games and stuff, but that's
well, even that's
the foundation and that's the base that you build the rest of the team off. So at that, I mean, if I'm David De Gea, I'm thinking, He'll get a sign on fee because there won't be no transfer fee wherever he goes. So 31. I
think that's a happy solution. I do. And I don't like criticising David De Gea because what he's done for us as a player and that. But I just have to call it as you see it. I don't think it's not a new phenomenon. It's not just the FA Cup final. We're having this conversation after the Sevilla game. We're having it after the West Ham game. We're having it after the Brentford game. We're having it the season before after the Atletico Madrid game.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of games, big games, where you go in, David, what's happening? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And then there's the little things that you don't always
pick up on, like the distribution.
Yeah, like time after time after giving away the ball. And I just feel like, now it's time to move on. Jonathan Escott says, my mate's wearing trackies, ha 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 ha. There we go, you see, I'm glad that...
Who's Paul Moises saying?
Paul Moises?
I know who he is, of the Max Wall Appreciation Society.
One for the older viewers, okay, senior viewers. Paul Moises, unless it's someone whose his namesake is my father. I am your father.
Who's Max
is
Wall?
My dad. I don't know. Who is Max Wall? Right.
There's a Maxwell for a second.
Santa Nottingham is
Max Wall is an English actor, apparently.
Maxwell Silverhammer.
That is one for the older generation. I don't even know how my dad knows this. This seems a bit old for him. I'll show you Max Wall. Have you done a Google? That's Max Wall, you can see.
Right.
I mean, okay, Dad. He might, to be fair, what time is it? 25 to... He might have started on the wine. Should we talk about Glastonbury? Yeah. You're right.
Your dad's through me there.
It's through everyone. Dude, Dad, derailing the entire podcast with your Max Wall reference that no one understands.
Right, let's talk about Glastonbury. Did you enjoy it? Elton John, gold suit, people whinging because it wasn't up to scratch and spent 2 hours of watching something they didn't like.
Yeah,
and decided to moan about it. It's become a sport now.
Moaning about things you don't like. You don't have to watch or get involved in. Things that don't affect you. Let's moan about that. There was two sort of prongs of attack for Glastonbury, wasn't there? There was the let's attack the artists for being crap, which was a weird one. So it's like, you, Elton John, call yourself an artist, 76-year-old, and done all that sniffer out your entire life and God knows what else. How dare you stand on that stage for 2 hours and entertain 250,000 people?
To be fair, he was sat down.
Sit. How dare you sit down?
Yeah.
Hey, why aren't you standing up?
I was worried when he kept standing up.
Mate, he's got it.
Yeah.
Got this. Then there was, Arctic Monkeys. What's wrong with your accent? Why don't you still sound like you're from Sheffield, even though you've probably not lived there for 20 years? My dad says, I'll get my coat. Thanks, Dad. Then there was, who else was there? Axl Rose, what's up with your voice? Why is your voice at the age of 60 odd still not what it used to be?
Jamie Carragher being apparently a music critic. So he's taken off the summer from Sky Sports and I was working for the enemy, saying the Arctic Monkeys should just do their older songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice one. Yeah, I often listen to Jamie Carragher when it comes to music criticism. So there was all that.
Surprised he's not spat at them. That's normally what he does when he
Hey.
doesn't like people.
Nicely done there.
He's a bit of a mardy bum when it comes to stuff like
Hey.
that.
Yeah, love that. So there was all that. And then the other prong of attack was, we're not just going to attack the artists, or maybe we'll aim at the people that are going, right?
To Glastonbury.
How can you go to Glastonbury when there's a cost of living crisis? I bet you lot who are all at Glastonbury will be moaning about going to the food bank next week, because you're obviously the same people that go to the food bank and go to Glastonbury, even though Glastonbury costs about 300 quid from what I gather. So there was that. So it's either, if you are going, you shouldn't be there, and if you are there, you're not enjoying yourself because everything's rubbish. Those are the two arguments.
It's supposed to be a music festival that brings people together. I don't understand this hobby that we've got now in Britain. I don't know, it might be a global phenomenon. This pastime where people just want to sit in the dark and whinge because they're sat in front of a TV. They have the option to turn over, but they'd rather sit there with frigging rage porn because Elton John is 76 and maybe a little bit out of tune. He's still standing, man, or sitting.
Yeah, nicely done there.
This is the man that gave us the Rocket Man. Tiny Dancer. Help. Yellow Brick Road. Daniel.
Hey, we were talking about it.
Talk about Elton John songs anymore.
Yeah, Someone Saved My Life Tonight. Hey.
Did he do any Lion King numbers?
No, he didn't.
Oh, that's your death song, that, isn't it?
Yeah, but not the Elton John version. Circle of Life, the Disney
original
version. Yeah, that's what I want me funeral.
Why don't you want the Elton John version? Because you were one of the ones slagging them off last night.
I was raging. I was beside myself with fume. Like, I was no Tinchy Strider with him. I was waiting for him to pop. No Chipmunk. Hey, did you not forget when he did a duet with him? Where was he?
Didn't he do something with Blue as well?
Where were Blue?
Where were Blue?
Brandon Flowers?
Not yeah.
I'm here for Blue, son. I wasn't even here for Elton.
So like your dad. Bit of Blue. No. Sorry, Paul.
Hey, I was just shocked at how many people were just raging about this guy, like a true icon as well. Like, probably the most, certainly the most, the biggest iconic living British star, would you say?
One of, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Paul McCartney. Yeah.
Well, he was in the stands, wasn't he? Inspired people didn't get pissed off that Paul McCartney. How dare he stand that side of the stage?
People were getting angry
about
at
Paul
the prospect
McCartney.
of Paul McCartney going on the stage with him. Like, people, it better not be Paul McCartney going on the stage.
He did. He had it last year.
Yeah, Paul McCartney. What's he ever done?
Bad weirdos.
We've got a tweet, actually.
We've got one good thing about Glastonbury. Can we do Unsung Hero now?
Yeah, we can do what you want.
Wait. Drum roll. Here's James with the graphics.
You're the producer. Yes. Big thanks to Talk for sorting out.
Playing 3 times. So close, James.
Once, twice, 3 times a lady. Go on.
So, there was, I'm not sure how many people saw it, but there was a great sign language interpreter who, here she is. Look at this.
That.
Yes. Absolute class. Brilliant. Really good. Right, that's enough for now. We don't want to get, a strike. Really good. Well done, James, as well. You've done well there. Yeah.
Any workout recommendations for lazy people?
What's that, sorry?
We've had a question. Scotty and Motty, any workout recommendations for lazy people? Is he asking us because we're lazy or because we look like we work out?
I'm going to pretend it's the latter.
Right, okay.
He's looked at us and he's gone, there is 2 examples.
You're looking good, though. You've lost some timber.
Yeah, I've had to cut out sugar because I
good.
got diagnosed with pre-diabetes. So if I keep eating sugar, I'm going to get diabetes. So I had to cut it out. The good thing about that was I eat like I used to eat a bar of chocolate every night. So when you stop doing that, the weight just drops off you and everyone compliments you on how well you're doing. Just by not munching bars of chocolate on the couch.
Have you been disciplined in what you do on your shop? Like, has Varney stopped buying certain things?
No, Varney's pretty chill about it. She's like, whatever you want to eat, it's up to you, sort of thing. And have Fat Friday. Well,
Fat
Friday, will eat what I want on a Friday.
Right, okay.
But I've sort of got used to it.
What day did you go doing your carvery the other day?
You're such a grass.
What day was that on?
Like,
I'm looking after you. I don't want you to die. Fat Friday.
That was a Thursday.
That was a Thursday as well.
It was a low fat carvery.
Was it? I've seen the plates, video evidence. Okay, now you could swim in that Yorkshire pudding in the gravy.
It's the Friday for a Thursday. It's not set in stone. He's done me there. Yes.
Do you remember that show, Fat Families?
Fat Friends?
No, Fat Families.
Fat Families was a show.
Yeah, there was that Scouse bloke who used to present it, and it wouldn't be allowed now. He just made loads of like fat jokes basically the entire time. Just like shit TV on Sky. What's your favourite worst shit TV program?
There was a shit one last week. Denise Van Outen with air fryers.
What?
Comparing air fryers.
Denise Van Outen comparing air fryers.
Yeah, I was like, where are we?
I remember when MUTV, well, it's still on now, but I don't subscribe to it. I remember there was a show on MUTV called Michael Owen Stables.
Should have got Mick Quins.
Yeah, here's a load of dead horses that I've not fed for 10 years, allegedly. Well, not allegedly, because he got done for it. Sorry, the lad that was asking about exercise says, no, I'm lazy. What I did was, in lockdown, I did couch to 5K. And what that does is, you can get it, it's a free app. And it encourages you to get out, and you start off, you just do the first week, you'll get to doing...
It uses HIIT, doesn't it? It's high intensity, do the stops and starts.
Yeah, so you'll do 10 minutes of jogging, 5 minutes of walking. Yeah. Just do 1 kilometre, on your first week. Second week, 10 minutes of jogging, 5 minutes walking, another 5 minutes of jogging, and so forth, until it gets you up to 5K of just running for 5 kilometres, which is what I did, and then obviously went on to 10Ks, and me and you've done the Manchester 10K and stuff like that. So it's very, you can go, it's very sort of staggered, so you're not rushing yourself, and you can do it over a period of you can go from couch, literally being on the couch, to doing the 5K in 3 months, and you'll notice that each week it just gets a little bit more intense.
Increments.
But yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing too.
You can just do walking as well. Like you can stay in shape just doing that as well. You don't have to go running.
What's your regime?
I walk everywhere pretty much because I don't want to give away like the location of where I live, but like it's close enough
Just
where
in case everybody's coming to follow you, James.
Well, why? Who do you think you are?
You don't want to give away where
Vladimir
it is.
Putin. I'm not going to give away. I don't want to give away the location of my address. Salford. All right. Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to turn up now, looking for you.
Right. I'm trying to give sound advice here, and you're.
But if you're going to give the sound advice, make sure you keep your address off the internet because we don't want anyone going around stalking you, James.
Yeah.
Both people.
I
that
did
might
that on
be
my
interested.
Strava. I stopped my Strava going right to my door.
Did you?
Yeah, because I realised it was a bit bait actually saying here, right? Because I put it on social as well. We're going to wrap up there anyway because we've got to go now.
Oh.
What about?
We've got one more thing.
We've got one more thing.
Right, go on then. Do the finally.
Right. So the finally, here we are. Right. Fade that over. Right, and finally, this is the part of the show where we look at like and finally stories in the news, and this one.
What's it called? This segment?
And
finally unsung hero.
No, hang on. Should we try it again? There we go. And finally.
Does he know he's put that on?
Right, we've had this on several times. Right, okay.
Right, and this time it is about this. That's the coat. There we go.
Right.
Third time. lucky.
Wow.
So this is the cat story. A child wanted to identify as a cat, which has been proven to be nonsense. It was a made-up story. But we've already seen the Home Secretary asking Ofsted or whoever it is that deals with schools to look into this or whatever, which is just ridiculous. And now we've seen this journalist saying, looking to speak to a mum whose secondary school age child identifies as an animal, can be anonymous, and fee paid on publication. Please retweet, journal request, PR request. You're basically offering people money to lie.
Yeah.
Give us some dough for a story that's made up. Now, this journalist in question has since deleted that tweet, and there was someone sharing on a thread of people messaging her nonsense like,
saying my
daughter's a hamster, we have to keep her in a cage, and she has one of those balls where she runs around in it. My lad thinks he's a frog, we keep him in a swimming pool in the back garden or paddling pool in the back garden and have to keep feeding him leaves or whatever. It's just nonsense.
Is it a thing? Like the people identify as animals.
This is all the anti-trans agenda.
No, I get that. I understand. I understand the angle. I'm not trying to make light.
I know you're not.
It came from kids actually taking the piss.
Of course it did.
Yeah.
And you're just encouraging it. It's like the self-fulfilling prophecy.
If
you're creating something out of nothing that encourages people to act like that, so kids are going to go in school now and say, I'm a tiger.
If you could identify as an animal, what animal would it be?
That's a very good question. I would probably go with a sloth.
A sloth?
Yeah.
But you run a bit though.
I know, but I'd like to just do nothing. Just chill.
An active sloth.
Yeah, just hanging around, just eating the odd leaf and that. Just not bothered or fazed by anything, bro. That's me. James, what animal would you be?
Rhino.
Very quick, wasn't it? Rhino!
Why rhino? Because you've always got the horn.
Hey! Hey, why would you be a rhinoceros?
I don't know. It's just the first animal that I thought of.
That was it. There's no. Okay.
There's always some sort of.
I like them flying squirrels.
Decent now.
They look good.
I like the way they land.
Yeah,
like the superheroes, don't they? Squirrels.
Won't have to use public transport. Jump tree for tree.
Jump tree for tree.
What would you be if you're watching? What animal would you identify as if you could be? And anyway, I've been Scotty. That's been Motty.
Mate, Miss Man United in the chat again.
Scotty's a badger.
Oh my God, I was going to say you're a sloth too. Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, thank you for that. Sorry, go on, my son.
Oh yeah. So thank you very much, James. 6 out of 10. He was doing well up until he had to use the graphics.
It adds to it though. I'm going to give him a 7. That little bit of James Younginess. We need a bit of that.
James Younginess. You sloths, eh? Right, if you aren't subscribed, please make sure you are doing so and like. We're going to be sending out another Patreon video very, very shortly. We sent one out this morning, and we've also started doing Agony Uncles, where we answered some of your questions on sex advice, relationship advice.
Very short episode, then.
What was it one? Like how to... We talked about someone getting smacked in the face with a fish, didn't we?
That was our solution.
Our solution. We offered advice about having a fish fight. So if
solved-
you want to watch that, you have to.
We've solved the war in Russia and the conflicts in the Middle East with haddock.
Yeah, I'm Wagner with a load of haddock. World peace will be ours. If you want to check that out, it's in the Patreon, and James is going to put a Patreon link in the
wait a minute.
chat now.
Wait a minute. Wait, don't go.
Are you not going now?
I'll do it now.
Okay, you do it now.
Because
well, thank you everybody who has been watching and subscribing so far.
so there's a link there in the chat.
We're
Go
nearly,
and log on to our
nearly
Patreon.
over 7,000 subs, so thank you everybody who's doing so. We're good now? Good to go?
Good to go.
All right, bye-bye.
All right.